as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my
this
lord.
an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Hello, a very good evening. You're welcome to Legally Speaking on Planet Radio 101.1 FM and Spectrum TV on Free to Air and Star Times. My name is Anthony Ebuku. I'm a legal practitioner with Law Partners and Associates, and the show is on now. All right, the last 1 week, lawyers have converged in Abuja at the Moshood Abiola Stadium for the annual general conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, and the theme of the conference was getting it right. Well, as of today, lawyers have retired back home to resume their official duties as it is. Most times after the conference, a new year is assumed to have commenced. So I want to congratulate all the lawyers that attended the conference and those that didn't. Some attended via Zoom, some went in person. We hearty congratulations to them, especially lawyers that came from Akwa Ibom State to Abuja. I have a guest with me in the studio today. I will introduce her right away. Hannah Essien. Hannah is the usual suspect on Legally Speaking. She's a teacher and a social commentator. Hannah, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, Hannah, we will be talking today on a topic, negligence, especially as it pertains to accidents. Most of the times we've had a series of accidents on the road, and most of them are not accidents as you would want to call them. They are purely out of negligence of careless drivers. And we assume we are going to look at what remedies are there for victims of such negligent actions. Let's try and demystify the accident situations, what we call accident situations in Nigeria. But Hannah, before we start, the Nigerian Bar Association had its annual general conference 2023, and it was a mammoth crowd that attended, and the president's Ashwayu Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended the conference, at least opened the occasion on Sunday. Now, I wouldn't know how outsiders, I mean people that are not lawyers, appreciate the essence of such conferences. That's why I want to ask you. How do you appreciate the essence of such conference?
Well, it doesn't concern me. We just know that people gather every year for whatever your reasons are. I mean, there are other professional bodies. They do not gather every year. So you lawyers know what you gain from gathering every year to have your conference.
And you're not curious to know what lawyers gain every year from gathering?
Well, so long as not every lawyer attends, I think it is not a life and death thing. Because I know lawyers that do not attend the conference every year, yeah.
Oh, but they do attend from time to time, not every year. Well, I think there is an essence, an important essence to the gathering of legal practitioners on a yearly basis. They review matters that probably would have been swept under the bike. It encourages bonding. It also puts issues on front burners. Front burners, for instance, the issues relating to the arrest and detention of Emefiele the suspended CBN governor, and also the continuous detention of the former chairman of the Government of Financial Crimes Commission. Now, these are some issues that can only be discussed on such forum with one voice. Outside that, different lawyers will say different things at different times, making their contributions from far and wide, and it is not with a unity of purpose. On such occasions, you can call the Attorney General of the Federation, who will be in attendance, and ask him questions. Attorney General, you are here, can you respond to these issues? I recall that General Muhammadu Buhari, as at the last time he opened the conference in Abuja, then it was in Abuja, and he was questioned on the continual arrest and detention of Dasuki. And he was very blunt to say that issues of national security rights above the issue of constitutionality and the law. Well, yes, it raised a lot of discussion around it. Okay, national security is just in quotes. Constitutionality is straightforward. Take these matters to court. Don't hide behind it. Don't hide behind national security. If the government says it's national security, this studio should shut down. There's no barometer to gauge national security. There's a pronouncement, that's all.
Well, I do believe that just like I think maybe it is applicable just like when we say if your fundamental right stops at a certain point. Because I understand, yes, there is fundamental right to freedom, but people do get locked up. So it's not always that...
you see, even the fundamental rights that has been breached is breached constitutionally, because the Constitution lays down modalities and procedures to which such right can be abridged. One of them could be for commission of an offense, and only the courts can determine how long that right should be breached, and nothing more than that. Like in these cases, the rights have been breached, the courts have made pronouncements, yet the government has refused to respond positively to those court actions. This is the same government that will also take other citizens to the same court and seek redress, right? So why don't you obey when it comes to you?
Okay, so you asked him that question during the conference, and when you discussed, what did you end up with one voice saying? You weren't able to do anything about it.
No, you see, the conference will make positive pronouncements. In saner countries, when you make such pronouncements, they are taken with weight, and such weight can lead to your impeachments. Okay. Yes, because if over 50,000 lawyers gather and say this thing that what has done is wrong, and the government has failed to respond to it, the National Assembly can also, because this communiques will be circulated to that extent.
Lawyers gather and say.
Yes, and come up with a communique, come up with a position paper. And when they come up with such position paper, the government is safe with such position paper. Government which includes even the National Assembly. And if the National Assembly takes it up and say, okay, this person should be impeached.
Is it provided for in the Constitution?
It doesn't matter. The Nigerian Bar Association is a recognized body, pressure group, which has a voice that should be listened to. And that alone can, the legislature can act with just that to impeach.
Can act if they choose to.
That's
act.
exactly what I'm saying.
The way you're sounding is as if it's in the Constitution that when 50,000 lawyers gather and issue a letter, it has to be
not
obeyed.
necessarily has to be obeyed, but it has a way to say this is the mind of the majority of the people. Okay, so if you say you are acting for the people, on behalf of the people, and the people have spoken, Vox Populi,
You're
Vox
saying
Dei.
the mind of a majority of the people. Is it not the legislature is supposed to be the voice
That's
of the
why I
people?
said,
It's not the
of course,
body of
of
lawyers.
course.
It's the legislature.
But the legislatures don't act alone. They act listening to the voice of the people too.
Which people?
So when they are representing people, you hear them stand up to say, I represent the good people of Oborokara.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But you're talking about lawyers as if lawyers are now the people. Lawyers are talking. Is it not judges? Is it not judges who are supposed to interpret laws?
No, at the National Assembly level, right? It's not about the law. It's about the pressure. That's why you have lobbyists.
Yes, I know.
Yes. So they.
But
you said
what you said is that they wrote a letter to.
I said they would. They would write to the National Assembly.
Okay.
So yeah, the NBA now is a pressure group, and a very prominent pressure group at that matter. For that matter. So when they talk, they have you be compelled to listen, especially when you consider that people like the Senate presidents are also members of the Nigerian Bar Association.
So you're using the word compelled to listen.
Yes.
How are they compelled to listen?
Well, when you're talking to your colleague and your colleague is making a positive position, you know that this is the right thing, not just because you are part of it, but because you know the law. We're not teaching you what you ought to have known.
And you agree, and you go to the general body of the house, and they don't agree with you.
Fine,
There's no compelling.
Yes, but there will be an effort. Anyway, generally speaking, what we trying to say is that the Nigerian Bar Association came up with certain positions that tended towards getting the country right, economically, legally, socially, and every other thing. So let's hope that the outcome of the conference would directly influence the positive transition of Nigeria into a better country. All right, let's go over to the major discussion of the day. Every other day you have people, you meet stories of accidents, people die on roadside accidents, especially let's use roadside and highway accidents. And when they die, you don't hear much about what happens thereafter, except that bodies were taken to the morgue. Federal Road Safety Commission came in and they asked families to come identify their relations and take them for burial, and that's the end of it. Now, one would say that if you go out of Nigeria, let's look at maybe America, somewhere close to us, people would really have to pay compensation for such deaths. Some companies, even airlines, are shut down because of such accidents, if they want to call them accidents, right? Now, if you notice, I've been very careful choosing my words when I say accidents. There's a reason I'm doing that, okay? But people have lost their lives, they've lost their properties, and sometimes even those occurrences might stop people from having jobs. If you're going for a job interview, you know, and you can't make it because there was a mishap on the road, okay? So now, we want to see, is that the end of the story? Should that be the end of the story? And let's have a background from you, from what you would think.
First of all, let me start with, I understand there's a Fatal Accidents Act outside Nigeria. Do we have one?
Yes, we do.
It's applicable in Nigeria?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And that Fatal Accidents Act provides for compensation for the dependents of someone killed in an accident. All right. And normally in Nigeria, what happens is somebody bashes into you and damages your car. You jump out, exchange words if you choose to, and blows if you choose to, or you forgive and go your way, or you drag the person there on the road and say you will fix my car, and the person fixes your car. But I understand that the law provides for you going to court, and getting compensated for whatever damage you have suffered from that accident. And so, but it appears as if you're the lawyer. I don't know how many of such cases you've handled in court. But it appears it's not a popular thing to go to court over things like that. Because I'm trying to imagine here in Nigeria, somebody runs into your vehicle and you go to court. How are you going to provide evidence that, okay, you show your bashed car?
All right. Let's take it wider than just somebody bashed into your car and you want to claim liabilities.
Oh yeah, you're even being hit as a pedestrian. You're getting hit by even if it's a bike, or you're sitting on those days that we had bikes. You're on a bike and the bike person rides and dumps you on the road and you get injured, you break a leg. You're not just to walk away like that. The law provides for you to claim,
to have some compensation for such,
for the injury you suffered. So, and that falls under the
damages claims.
Yeah. So when you're talking about accident like that and claiming, there's also what is called contributory negligence.
Before we get to contributory negligence, you see, there is this popular position that we normally have when there is a collision of such, or there is a mishap on the road. You hear people say, there was an accident on that road. There was an accident. Accident. What's the word accident? What is the meaning of the word accident? The meaning of the word accident most times is that something has occurred where there was no plan for it to occur after all precautions have been taken. Right?
I don't agree.
Okay, let's
that
have
is
that.
After all precautions have been taken. Accidents happen out of carelessness. It's just that you were not. Accidents, I think, is when you say something happened by accident, you did not intend it. You didn't make it happen intentionally. Okay. So it was not intended. It was unintended and unexpected. Okay. And it caused harm or injury. Okay. For me, that's what I think. I mean, you walk and you slip and fall. You weren't planning to. Maybe you weren't looking and you stepped on a banana peel. You were not planning to fall and hurt yourself. But because you weren't looking, you stepped on that banana peel and you fell. It's an accident.
Yes, it's an accident. But when the banana peel was kept consciously, negligently, deliberately, you still call it an accident.
Yeah, you've had an accident.
No, because somebody has breached a duty. That person, it was not coincidentally. It was out of a breach of some duty to be careful. All right? Okay, now you are on a bus. You're driving, the bus is supposed to commit you to Port Harcourt or to Cross River State, Calabar. Along the line, there is a mishap. And the mishap is occasioned by the fact that the driver of the bus does not see well at night. I was flying at 80 kilometers per hour and he rammed himself into a truck.
Yeah, that driver was careless. Personally, I don't see much beyond my nose.
How would you say he was careless?
I don't see much beyond my nose.
Okay.
So for me to
drive in the night,
I am looking for trouble.
Okay, let's look at it this way. The driver has been driving for 20 years. At the time he started, his eyesight was good.
But he definitely observed that his eyesight is not as good as it used to be before. So he ought not to risk people's lives.
Yeah, he progressively struggled to drive the road he has known like the back of his palm. So he believes he's still doing well.
You know the road at the back of your palm, but that road is not staying empty.
So, yes.
There are other vehicles on that road. There are animals crossing that road. There are
so at that point,
vehicles
at
on
that point,
road.
the driver comes in to say, I didn't intend it. It happened accidentally, right? His choice of word says it happened accidentally. But my choice of word would say it happened out of negligence.
And when he says that, the court will tell him, oh yeah, tell us the care you took.
Okay, all right. So
to prevent these
so when
accidents
if
from
that
happening.
now happens, what you would recommend is you take this matter to the court, because in such cases people die.
Yes.
People lose their lives.
Lose their limbs, get
you get amputated,
seriously,
you lose your job because you no longer
become incapacitated.
Yes. So, and people go back and you see them on the roadside begging, for arms. And they tell you I used to work with the Ministry of Military. I used to work here because of the fatal accident I had. I was retrenched.
And now
So
you're
what
even talking about road accident. You know, accidents do occur at places of work.
Yeah, I know. We know.
You're working.
We are trying to limit it a little to road accident. Let the road accident be the subject matter, so we won't go very wide. Now,
okay.
And you ask him, you have come to sit by the roadside to beg for alms because there was a road mishap which you were involved in. Ask him, what did you do when that happened? Went to the hospital, he stayed for 7 months.
Yeah.
His leg was amputated, and everything he had for savings, the land he bought, he sold to keep his life. When there is life, there is hope. And the next time you see him, he's begging for alms because he can no longer do the work he used to do to support his family.
Yeah.
All right. So
what the law is trying
what
to
the
do
law
is
saying is
trying to make people be careful.
Yes.
Be more take a lot of care when you're doing things so that your action will not injure
yeah, the law is simply
the next
saying that
person.
whereas you have the right to live your life the way you want to, but live your life in such a way that it does not injure the next person, a third party.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to be a driver, okay, go ahead. It's your choice of profession. But before you start driving, ask a couple of questions. One, do I have the capacity to do that work? Even if I have the capacity, do I have it at the particular time I'm doing that work? Do I have a propensity to drink? And what kind of drink do I indulge myself in? Alcoholic beverages or soft drinks? Now, to some people, soft drinks get them high. It's sugar. I know it gets children high. So you can actually get adults high.
I would say what I do
you
not
will agree
know.
to that. Okay. So to some people, that could get them high. Some people, a smoke of weed or cigarettes. Some, just eating food and getting full
makes you drowsy.
Sleepy, drowsy on the road. So it's the same thing. Without, you say, I didn't take any alcohol, but you ate pound of yam. I mean, in good quantity.
Yes.
And he went behind the steering wheel and slept off.
Yeah.
So that's still part of negligence, okay? So the law wants to say that every human being on the road has a duty first to make sure he himself, then that other road users are equally safe, despite him being on the road.
Yes.
Okay? So whereas the law might not stop you from eating akpu before you drive, the law will ask questions on why that akpu made you sleep. If you knew that the certain kind of food, you enjoy it so much, it will make you too relaxed to be on the road. Your sense of alertness will have diminished.
Yes.
The law expects you to reduce your intake of that food.
Or when you eat it, go and sleep.
Go and sleep. Eat it last thing in the night. Not to say, okay, I'm rushing back to you, I want to eat, so when I get back to you, I just sleep. I don't need to go looking for food again.
Yeah.
So 7 p.m. you are doing good, Edikaikong and Afang, or Poundo or Fufu. Then you jump into the bus and drive off. You get to Dupani Junction, you're half asleep. Then you run yourself into a ditch. and you don't get to you. So what happens after that? What the law expects is that you are mindful. Now, yes, I have a duty to care for these people. Let me buy such food, put in a full flask. When I get to you, I eat. When I park the car, then I sleep. Or let me not do night journey. As I land with you, tomorrow morning I fly back to, I can stay awake, I'll eat kola nuts. So you come in from night bus, you drive the night bus, and the next morning you want to return to Lagos so that you can make extra income. All right, so
what that means is because I remember I read this case. The man said he felt dizzy before he entered the car to drive, and then he had a heart attack. So I think hit somebody, and the court said the fact that you felt dizzy had told you that you shouldn't
drive
go on the road, so you weren't showing care.
Okay.
So negligence. So the law has placed duty of care on road users, even the one that is walking on the road, because you that is walking on the road, you can also be, by your carelessness, be the reason for accident. So
for road mishap. Yes, I think I would love to use
you
it.
like calling it a road mishap. It's an accident. You weren't planning it to happen.
I think so. We won't have a road studio mishap. We got a short break, and when we come back from that short break, we will open the phone lines for callers to call in and have their input and contributions in the discussion of today. Let's start the break.
The only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the matters counsel is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
All right, welcome back to Legally Speaking. You are still on with Planet Radio 101.1 FM and Spectrum TV. I have Hannah Essien still with me, and my name is Anthony Ebuk. All right, the phone lines will be open from now. The numbers to call will be 090-222-31011. I'll repeat that number, 090-222-31011. The alternative number to call will be 070-454-17707. I repeat that alternative number, 070-454-17707. All right, Hannah, we'll be talking on negligence and the causes of road accidents. Now, when these matters, because of the need to ensure this duty of care, the law makes regulations. Okay, such regulations include traffic rules, and that's why you have the road safety people on the road. You have the VIOs on the road. You know, some of the things they want to check to be sure you do have is maybe that you have a triangle that indicates that there's a parked vehicle on the road. There's a bad vehicle or something, that you have a fire extinguisher in case anything happens. So, whereas it's not a revenue generating search on the road like they try to make it appear. It's a way of a continuous road traffic education.
Why do you say it's a revenue thing? I believe what they do is when they find that you are defaulted, maybe they come and ask, they don't see the triangle, there's a fine for not having these things. So they'll simply tell you, go and pay the fine.
I wish it was as nice as you are putting it. Because when you get to the road and you realize that there's some kind of cars that they expect you should have triangles and fire extinguishers. And there's some that don't even have brakes. No brake lights, nothing at all. They are trucks. They just roll on the road and they will clear for those ones. Because they don't expect them to have anything to give them. Right? How do you book a truck that is not even registered? I mean, there's no plate number on the truck. It's a beast of burden. But these are the ones that they should actually be booking. But when they see a car that is properly...
Yeah, it shouldn't be a should. They should book everybody who has
contravened the traffic.
Yeah, who has
Exactly.
contravened rules
Exactly.
and
But
regulations.
why I say they should is because it's not all offenses that should be punishable.
You're saying offense.
Okay, all right. Let's look at it this way. What is the essence of making those traffic rules? Is it to generate money? It also has educational purposes. Oh, sir, we have realized that your spare tire is worn out. You need a good spare tire. And the person says, I didn't realize that. Hey, please, next time we'll book you. So you've taught him one thing. You need to have a clean, a good spare tire. The fact that we call it a spare tire doesn't mean that it shouldn't be a good tire. Because it should be something that can take you from here to there and not cause an accident when...
So next time we'll book you, they will now write your...
No.
They will have a new book and write your registration number and write on dates.
No.
This person,
No.
so next time we catch him.
Some people, some officers are stationary at a certain point. That's their duty post. So they know most of the vehicles when they see them by sight, because they recall that you ply that route often, once a day, once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks. But
Yeah, when you don't ply and you come with your worn tire and they tell you, okay, you have a worn tire, and you move from there and you go and suffer a skid because of your worn tire and you have an accident.
okay, if you notice when vehicles pass them, initially it used to be when vehicles pass them, they come after you, they pursue, right? They will want not to do that because accidents happen. People died in the process of running after. Why must you punish that person? That person that is running away is now aware of his incapacitation, his deficiencies. So you being on that road alone is enough information to the person. Anyway, let's not digress. So when you look at what you need to prove when you take these matters to court, first,
What do you need to prove? I understand that the person has to owe you a duty first, and then the duty has to be breached, and then you have to suffer a damage. So if the court does not find that the person you're bringing to court owes you a legal duty, you don't even have a case to start with. But since we're talking about road accidents, the road users, every road user has a duty by law to be careful. So that one is established. Even you that's walking, you owe the next person a duty of care.
okay,
So when you're careless, and that means you've breached that duty, and if damage or injury happens because of your conduct, your careless conduct, then
all right. So this duty of care could include you just parking your car on the road and somebody rams into it. That's it. I don't need to be driving it at a
you
point.
park your car, you do not indicate, you don't
that
give
this
any
is a
sign
parked
to
vehicle.
let somebody that's coming know,
Yes.
like triangle you're talking about.
Yes.
Give somebody an indication that there is a car here.
Yes.
You have not shown care, you're negligent, and you're looking for, you've created a scenario
You're
for,
just an accident waiting to happen.
for a mishap to...
Yes. So the law expects that one, there will be a duty of care. You prove to the court that this person owes you a duty of care whilst using the road that he also used. Secondly, that he has breached that duty of care, whether by an act or a failure to act.
Yeah, omission or a commission.
A commission or omission. Then that duty of care, which has been breached, has caused damage to you.
Yes.
Injury. That injury could be fatal sometimes.
Yeah, could be death.
Now, when we say injury to you, it might not necessarily be you in person.
It could be your car.
It could be your child.
Yes.
It could be your father. But there will be that relationship that shows, okay, this person died out of the negligence of a third party, and that person that died is my father.
Yes.
My son, he was a breadwinner.
Yes.
Okay? And if he was a bit careful, this probably would not have happened.
Taken place.
All right? If he had done what he ought to have done, okay?
Yeah.
Because in some cases it's an omission to put the triangle. That's what he failed to have done. Some cases it could be negligent to pump, inflate his tire, or use the proper tires, or even check his brakes. So his brake failed and he ran into me and killed me. It's not a very difficult thing to prove in court. All right? It's not a very difficult thing, but you must have your acts together. When it is happening, you must be sure that these matters might be going to court. I need to prepare for it. If you need to bring in the VIOs, okay.
Now we were talking about going to court. I'm thinking of a situation where I'm in a keke. I don't know that keke driver.
Keke?
Yeah.
Tricycle?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Or
should I talk about the bike days? Because there are still areas where you sit on a bike. This bike man dumps you on the road and you're injured. The bike man, you're taken to hospital and the bike man drives away, right away. How you find him to take him to court to come and pay compensation?
If you recall, at the point there was this. The government has ensured that every tricycle owner will